Now that the File Server Resource Manager has been installed, I'm going to click on Tools in Server Manager, and in the list I have File Server Resource Manager. Now there are a few components here we really care about. The first we want to look at is this quota management. One of the challenges that always exists on a file server is trying to manage the space and trying to plan for future growth. If I tell all my users every file they have that's important, they should save to a shared folder. Commonly that's referred to as a map network drive on the user's computer. Well, if they think everything that's important they need to save to that drive so it can never be lost, the challenge is they will start to save non-work related content to that. Now, as a company, we have to purchase storage. We have to back that data up. It has to be managed. So I may have a need to limit how much they can actually save. Well, that's where quota management comes in. With quota management, I can create a new quota. To look at how this works, I'm going to right-click this quotas, and I'm going to choose Create a Quota. This quota path can apply to any folder on my file server. So I'm just going to browse. And in this list, I'm going to choose my C drive. And on the C drive, I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to name that folder Sales Data. In my Sales Data folder, I'm going to click Define Custom Quota Properties. When I customize this, I can make my quota a hard quota or a soft quota. A hard quota, as it says, do not allow users to exceed the limit. If I made this a 1 gig quota, it's impossible my users could ever save more than 1 gig into this folder. Now, sometimes you may want to put a limit like that. Other times, I may not want to actually restrict users. I just may want to know, is anyone saving more than 1 gig of data into this folder? If so, maybe we need to figure out if this is work-related data. I could use that information to plan for future growth. That's the soft quota. As it says here, allow users to exceed only used for monitoring. So the limit I imposed here, 1 gig, they can blow right past that limit, but I can later run a report, as we'll see, and it will show me that more than 1 gig's been saved into that specific folder. So here we are just choosing the size and hard or soft. Either of those can be changed at any time. I also have these notification thresholds. If I add a notification threshold, it gives me a few options. At 85% of my quota, now I can adjust that number to whatever I believe is appropriate, but our 1 gig quota, when I am at 85% utilization of that quota, it will trigger these notifications. I could have an email sent. I could specify who the email should actually go to. Just enter 1 or more email addresses. If you enter multiple addresses, they need to be separated by a semicolon. I could also describe what the message itself actually says. So that's a possibility, have an email generated. I could also have an event generated in the event log. So that'll write a warning. I could run a command. Now, normally, this would be a script, a PowerShell script, a batch file of some sort. But you could simply browse for a script, and when this threshold is reached, it will just trigger that script to run. I could also have a report generated. If I select this Generate Reports, the bottom of this list, if we scroll down, is quota usage. So this entry would be just flagged in a report. So we define whichever of those we believe is appropriate. I'm just going to say OK for that. So I have my 1 gig hard quota, and at 85%, it will generate an event. I'm going to choose OK for this. Now I'm going to click Create. Now, notice it does prompt me to save the custom properties as a template. For now, I'm going to say I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click Save the Custom Quota without creating a template. And I'm going to click OK. So now my sales data folder has this 1 gig hard quota. In the next section, we're going to look at these quota templates that exist.